So, welcome to decimals multiplication. So, let's start with multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000. So, this is the easiest type of multiplication we have basically. So, let's go. Okay, now we have 11.9. Let's write it down over here. So, 11.9 times 10. So, when you multiply, you go to the left, like this, kind of. So it's an easy way to do this if you don't know how to do these really quickly. Well, there's a method to it. So when you multiply, you move to the left, like you jump to the left, if you see what I mean. And if you're multiplying by 10, 100, or 1,000, you move to the left when you multiply. And you have to count the number of zeros we have in the number. So in 10, we have 1 0. So 1 0 equals 1 jump. So the tens, the ones, the tenths, and the hundreds. So the tens will jump to the hundreds, and then this will jump here, and then this will jump here. And then we just won't have this anymore. So basically our answer is 119. Really easy. Let's go on to the second question, which is 1.23 times 100. So as I said, when we multiply, we move to the left, and the number of zeros we have is the number of jumps we do. So we have 2 zeros, so let's jump twice to the left. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, and the decimal point is our anchor again, so it always stays there. So our answer is 1, 2, 3. Now let's go on to the third question. 1.369. So as I said, when we multiply, we move to the left, we jump to the left, and we have to count the number of zeros there are. Because the number of zeros there are, the number of jumps you do. So there's 3 zeros. 3 zeros equals 3 jumps. So let's start jumping. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we get 1369, and the decimal point stays where it is. So the answer is 1369. 1369. So far, it's pretty easy. A short method if you can't do it really fast, and if you know it, you can do it extremely fast. Because basically, you don't really have to think about it when you get used to it. Let's go on to decimals by whole numbers. So let's do 6.2 times 5. So let's ignore the decimal point totally, or if you want, you could just put the decimal point here as an anchor. And now let's do normal multiplication. That gives us the answer 310, but because of the anchor decimal point, the answer is 31. So that was an easy question, wasn't it? So let's do 7.22 times 12. Decimal point goes here, and now we do the normal multiplication. 4, 4, 14, 2 to 7. And then the decimal point have to line up, so we have the decimal points in the same place, and now we add them together. So our answer is 21.66. So it's not too difficult, unless normal multiplication is difficult, which I don't think it is. So let's go on to another question. Let's do one last whole number question. 3.7 times 12. Decimal point goes here, and now we do the multiplication. and then we add them together, and we get 11.1. So, isn't this easy peasy lemon squeezy? Well, not that, but you know what I mean. So, the next question, let's do decimal by decimal. 3.7 times 2.1. Let's ignore the decimal points totally and do a normal multiplication. So, 777. Now, let's count the number of decimal places. In case you don't know, decimal places are the numbers, the digits after the decimal point, like this and this, like 7 and 1 in this case. So let's count them. So 7 is what? 7 and 1. That's 2 decimal places in total. So we've got to look at all of them in total. So now that we know that we have 2 decimal places, let's take the number 777. And now let's go to the left from the right and count 2 digits. 1 digit, 2 digit. So the decimal point goes here. So the answer is 7.77. Let's do another one. Let's do 3.69 times 1.24. Okay, same as always, ignore the decimal point and then do a normal multiplication. So let's continue. Here the question is usually only as difficult as the actual multiplication is if it was a whole number. So we get the answer 45736. But that is not our answer yet, is it? This is not our answer yet. So what would our answer be? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, we need to count from the left go from the right to the left 4 and bypass 4 digits. 1 digit, 2, 3 digits, and 4 digits. So the decimal point would go here. And our answer is 4.536. Let's do one last question. And then I think I'll do another question here. Let's do 3.7 times 1.29. So here we have got a different amount of decimal places, but just ignore it and then just ignore the decimal points and do the normal multiplication. So here I'm just going to switch it around to make it easier. And so we get, now let me do the multiplication, and we get 4773. So if the answer is 4773, we have 1.29, 3.7, right? So we need to count the amount of the decimal places. 1, 2, 3. So let's write our 4773. We'll go from here to here to here. So this is the spot. 4.773 is our answer. Thank you for listening, and I hope you watch another one of my videos.